Okay, so video from Brad Palumbo. One overlooked Candace Owens clip proves she has entered active psychosis. Let's fucking go, Brad Palumbo. Let's see what we got.
I
Who do you
don't
think is behind this?
I don't
Do you
think
think
Tyler Robinson was there. I do not believe that Tyler Robinson is the person who was walking in that staircase.
Everybody's overlooking this one new clip of Candace Owens that really does prove she's totally lost her mind. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, your home for independent, nonpartisan commentary and analysis on news, politics, media, and more. We're going to check in with Candace Owens, which I haven't done as much lately. I have not been keeping up with her daily broadcasts to the same extent. I just can't keep doing that to myself. But I did notice her interview with the podcaster Sean Ryan, which is going super viral right now. It's really blowing up. And it's understandable to see why. She makes some pretty bold claims in it. Here's the thumbnail I'll flash on screen. Candace Owens, quote, "I don't believe Tyler Robinson was even there," referring to, of course, the person who's been charged with murdering Charlie Kirk and is heading to trial on it. Yeah, she's claiming now that he wasn't even there. And we're going to talk about that clip. There's a second clip from this interview that basically no one has noticed that I actually think is like exponentially more insane than anything she's said to date and kind of proves she's just totally lost touch with reality. So we're going to go through that one as well. And I think a lot of you probably it's fallen under the radar. So stay tuned to the end of the video for that. But first, I'll just play this first clip and then I'll explain why it's like this narrative really makes no sense that she's now pushing. Not that that is anything particularly new.
Now, I'll be honest, I haven't watched the full Sean Ryan interview because it's like 4 hours and yeah, it's just a bunch of fucking nonsense. Sean Ryan has also become just a weak podcaster. I always thought like I first saw Sean Ryan on the Modern Wisdom show when he was just a guest and he was a terrible guest. He couldn't really express any ideas very well. So then I'm not really sure how he became a successful podcaster, but like kudos to him. God bless. Like if you could do it, great, good job. And now he's just kind of a weak-minded fool. So I didn't watch the full interview, just seen some clips. And it's so interesting how people can watch a conversation in real time and have two totally different, you know, conclusions from what they saw based on how they view the world, their perceptions, and their ideologies. But I think at this point, it is a fact that Candace Owens is an evil liar. So I think that is true.
Or different. Anyway, let's watch that.
I mean, who is Tyler Robinson? What the was he doing there? Who do you think is behind this?
I don't
Do you
think Tyler Robinson was there.
You don't think he was
What?
there?
I think he's a total patsy. I think they get lookalikes and they got everybody wearing the same outfit. I think he played a role, and I believe that what he did was he picked up clothes and he dumped them behind the Dairy Queen. I think he had a role, but I do not believe that Tyler Robinson is the person who was walking in that staircase. I do not believe the person walking in the staircase was even the person that we saw running off of the roof.
Me on 420. They have lookalikes. I don't even believe it was him. It was there. Girl, what?
Hold on. Before you pay for yet another app to manage your team, let me introduce you to Connect Team, the one platform that replaces all.
Put down the crack pipe. You've had enough. Because what do you mean? I mean, I guess I'll just go over briefly the evidence they have tying Tyler Robinson to the crime, to the scene of the crime. Surveillance footage showing him arriving on the scene, footprints found on site.
Brad, stop, dude. Evidence doesn't matter. Facts do not matter. It's about feelings and vibes. And trust me, bro, I know vibes. Not about real evidence or facts or anything like that. So stop, Brad. Stop. For real, dude. Stop.
That match his sneakers, his DNA found on the rifle, his confessions to his family members and to his like trans roommate / lover. But of course, she thinks all of that evidence is fake and or planted. And just think about that for a second. You're suggesting that all three levels of Utah state government, local law enforcement, and the feds all colluded to cover this up and fake all this evidence and everything. That's outlandish enough. But now you're suggesting
Yes, Brad, because of the Jews. Da Jews.
That it wasn't really Tyler Robinson, who you see in the footage, running away on the scene of the crime and all this stuff. It was actually lookalikes that they dressed up like him and had impersonate him. But if he's already a patsy, if he's already involved in this, why wouldn't they just have it be him? Why would they use lookalikes? That makes no sense on its face. What? It's crazy because it makes sense to like distrust or challenge official narratives and to apply scrutiny and to ask questions. But then on your alternative theories, it's like you apply no scrutiny at all, or you don't apply any logical consistency.
Well, when she comes up with a grand conspiracy, it's based on facts and through lines and making common sense, even though they don't make any sense. But the actual, real, truthful narrative is one that's crazy and stupid. That's where Candace Owens kind of gets her feel. And then she says it with a dramatic and entertaining flair and with conviction. And then people believe her.
Or anything like that. And I'm sorry, but I just don't believe for a second that all this evidence is faked and none of that will be proven in his trial, and that a jury of his peers, when he is ultimately most likely convicted, will have been convinced beyond a reasonable doubt of this crime, even though he literally wasn't even there, according to Candace. Come on. This is just far beyond the point of asking questions or wanting to know the truth, and it's just full-blown paranoid schizophrenia, ramblings of a maniac, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just my take, I guess. Now I'm gonna show you the second clip.
I certainly agree with you, Brad.
Which is arguably much more insane and isn't getting the same attention as this main thing that she's spinning, but I actually think should be, because it just truly shows you that Candace has lost her mind. She's not thinking remotely rationally or reasonably. And to say nothing of the fact that she's totally wrong about basic facts, that's not new. Anyway, we'll move on here. So here's the second clip that I pulled from this interview that should be going viral, but isn't. Let's watch. And it's when they're talking about, alternatively, not about Charlie Kirk, but about the attempted assassination against President Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania. Listen closely to Candace's theory about that. It's shocking, really.
Can't
Let's
wait.
listen. Who's going to win Love Island USA Season 8? Honestly, I have no clue. I've only been watching the show, just following the controversies online, but you might have now. Now back to the show.
They didn't even look into his own assassination attempt.
Trump.
Yeah.
Butler.
They
There's a
fucking
reason for
blocked
that.
the investigation.
Yeah. Mhm.
Nope.
What do you think?
Fact
that
check
was?
wrong.
I covered that recently on my show, and it should be reopened. And I think it was a successful assassination of Corey Comparatore. I think
Was that the firefighter?
Mhm.
I met his daughter at
Did you?
the inauguration that I never should have fucking went to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Never should have.
They don't believe the
That I never should have fucking went to. Sean Ryan kind of sounds like Batman, eh?
story. They are not satisfied. His family is not satisfied with the investigation. All of the stuff could be considered conspiracy, but I think
really?
what adds weight to conspiracies are a lack of answers. When there's a lack of answers, conspiracies become weighted. And you can't tell me that it's normal for a man to survive an assassination attempt and shut down the investigation into his own assassination attempt. That doesn't make sense. Trump can't make that make sense.
You're right, actually. I mean, she's not wrong. Like, that would be weird. That would make sense if that was anything that actually happened, but it isn't. So first, I'm just going to fact check the parts of this that are just not attached to reality. Then we're going to discuss about the absolutely psychotic claim here Candace makes that just totally calls into question her mental state.
Yes.
But first, so their claim is that they didn't look into the assassination attempt against Trump and that Trump stopped them from investigating it. That is objectively, factually incorrect and untrue. The FBI, with cooperation from the Department of Justice, the Secret Service, and the ATF, involvement from all these agencies, completed a full investigation into this, determined the outcome they believe that is what happened, and then President Trump was satisfied with the outcome of that investigation. But that isn't all. So he didn't stop them from investigating into it. They completed an investigation and he was satisfied with it. Anyway, but that wasn't the only people that have looked into this, right? There was a bipartisan House investigation into it and a Senate investigation into it that both released reports. There was a DHS Inspector General report about the Secret Service's failures that contributed to the massive security breakdown that almost got the president killed.
Yeah, Brad, what you're saying is that Candace Owens was right. There was no investigation. It's so fucking great job, Brad, here. I'm liking Brad more and more as I stream and react to more of his videos. Really, I'm just watching Brad to learn because I'm kind of doing an inception thing here because Brad is reacting to this and I'm not really reacting to Brad. I'm just learning from it in real time. That's kind of why I do these streams because I don't have a lot of time to look at the news and things like that and current events because running a business and being a dad and a husband and all that takes priority. So when I got an hour to stream, I try to learn. And Candace Owens spewing harmful bullshit has an impact on the world and how people feel and the flourishing of our society, especially when she makes claims with no evidence under the guise of just asking questions. Again, like Brad said, this is not just asking questions anymore. This is full-blown psychosis. Has to be. Or a big fucking check. Or both.
Everyone did investigate this. It wasn't blocked or stopped in any way. But when all these different groups and levels of government examined it, no one found some grand conspiracy because there wasn't one, as far as we know. And I don't agree with her premise that if we don't fully understand everything, partially because we're just not in touch with the facts, therefore that proves our theory is true. That's actually not how logical reasoning works. But the piece that they're glomming onto when they say the investigation was stopped are claims from Joe Kent, who resigned from the Trump administration in protest of the Iran war, because he claims, and we actually don't know if this is true or not, but he claims this, and let's say it is true for the purposes of taking Candace at face value. His role was director of the U.S. National Counterterrorism Center. He was part of the intelligence community working under Tulsi Gabbard. And he claims that he tried to look into the assassination attempt more and wasn't allowed to by the FBI. But that's because it's outside the scope of his role. It's not within the purview of his job title to reopen a criminal investigation that's been closed by the FBI. That isn't what they do at the Counterterrorism Center, where they're analyzing threats and intelligence. So it's like they stopped him from doing that because it was inappropriate, and partially because probably they may have started to suspect that he was like not on the same page as them or going to resign the administration or something like that. And also just federal agencies and government agencies in general tend to be territorial and not want other people, encroaching on their territory. But maybe you think he should have been allowed to.
Yeah, Joe Kent has basically proved to be quite a loser. So, and he's on the Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson camp of not knowing shit about fuck.
To poke around in it. I guess I don't really care. But that's not the same thing as the repeated assertions here that they shut down or blocked or didn't do investigations into the assassination attempt. That's absolutely factually untrue. But we haven't even gotten to the psychotic part yet. What Candace suggested in that clip was that the attempted assassination of President Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania, was actually a facade so they could kill the firefighter who was struck in the background. That's what she said very explicitly in that clip, that it was actually a successful attempt to kill this random guy in the background who died, who I heart goes out to his family. It's horrible. I think it's evil that was done to him. And he's a victim of senseless violence because someone tried to kill Trump and missed. She's saying they actually were trying to take him out and that was their mission and goal and they succeeded at it. Think about that. Accept the premise that for whatever reason, the CIA, Israel, whatever, Brigitte, of course, Brigitte has to be involved somehow. It's Candace Owens, wanted to kill this firefighter dude, Corey Compertori, right? The firefighter who was killed in the background. Say they wanted to take him out. Candace is suggesting that they decided to do that not by cutting his brakes, not by having a mugging gone wrong or any,
but by fucking staging an assassination attempt on the president of the United States to kill this one guy. This is like, this is unbelievable. But it's Israel. It's the Jews. They got it. They can do anything they want because they run everything, the whole world, the government, everything.
Framing him for a crime or anything that, like, they could do to some random person. Very powerful intelligence agencies or foreign governments theoretically could. But by staging a fake assassination attempt against President Trump, and then perfectly aligning it so that they would shoot and just miss Trump and kill this guy in the background, perfectly targeted. That is insane. That is not even just an incredibly implausible scenario. It's essentially as close to the limit of infinity as impossible as you can get. That anyone would ever decide to do such a thing. And
no, Brad, it's possible. Okay. It's possible because Candace Owens said it's possible. And she never lies. She only tells the truth. And she's there for the facts. And she's just asking questions. And she would never say anything that's literally can't be true. Never. She would never do that. Plus the Jews.
The real significance of her claiming that is it shows you how far gone she is, and that she's just totally detached from reality and just facts and basic logical probability thinking and analysis. And yet she remains massively influential to millions of people who are tuning into her, and she is taking them to an insane and deranged and dangerous place where they end up with this total conspiratard brain, where they think everything is some big plot. They lose touch with reality. They accept as fact tons of random lies and misinformation they see on the internet. And they all do it with the most toxic and insane slogan. We don't know, but we know. That means you don't know. That means you actually have no reason to believe something. It's like,
oh, I love how fucking worked up Brad is getting because I feel the exact same way as him. It's like, it's ridiculous. You don't know, and none of them know anything. Candace doesn't know anything. She's making stuff up on the fly, or whoever produces her show is making up stuff like a friggin' story script for a movie. That's how much it's made up. And then people say it, and then they hang on to every word because Candace Owens is their hero because she's such a truth teller and she doesn't care what the repercussions are. She's willing to go through the fire to tell the truth. Holy fuck. No, she's not. She's a coward and she's evil. I'm with you, Brad.
I'm genuinely extremely concerned for some of these Candace Owens fans. I'm going to play you a clip from Caleb Hammer's show, the financial audit guy. He does, and it's not always so much about the finances, though he still does that, but he puts on these crazies, and he recently had some unironic, hardcore Candace Owens fans on. And I'm just going to play a brief clip of them on the show, and you will see that the sheer psychosis and lunacy that some of these people have been led to by Candace. Explicitly, they name her proudly. They're proud Candace Owens listeners. And honestly, that once you hear them talk, it tracks. All right, let's look at that.
Okay, which one? Charlie Kirk's not actually dead.
What? Where is he? Why would he do this?
So he's in. Okay, so there's theories. So there's theories. Okay, so he
theories.
can either his wife Erica Kirk was in on it.
Oh, of course. Yeah, Erica's the villain. She's so evil. She's Candace recently called her an actual psychopath and has explicitly implied that she is involved in it. But
and also then claimed multiple times she has never said that, but has said that, but now she does say that. It's all hoopla.
Obviously, like, Candace has not claimed that Charlie isn't dead. So I want to be clear that not all the crazy things that you hear these people say directly come from Candace. But there are other kind of Candace adjacent people who are even more crazy, who she's promoted and she's cited and then fed people to. And then they post even more unverified and salacious and crazy stuff than Candace does. And then two, she just encourages the psychosis that leads to these claims. So I do want to be fair to Candace and make it clear that not everything these people say, which is just bat insane, like Charlie Kirk's not actually dead, he's like secretly in hiding somewhere, as she explains, isn't an assertion Candace Owens has made. Now, some of the things that she says here are verbatim from Candace Owens or from other crazy Candace-esque influencers, but I do want to be fair and note that it's not all stuff she's directly said, but clearly they have glommed onto this and then some because of Candace explicitly. Let's listen more.
In on it, or like in on the conspiracy, and she's in hiding with
so we
him.
got some Candace watchers.
Or yes, 100%. We know.
Okay.
We know. Okay.
We know.
But
You
we
think-
don't know.
You
Oh
think?
my God.
But
It's called a think, not a no.
No, we
The husband is actually insane as well, to be clear. In the rest of the episode, he comes out as like absolutely batshit crazy. But in this point, he's like making a little bit of sense. He's like, well, we think we don't know. And she's like, no. We know, but we don't know, but we know. It's like, explain what that means. We don't know, but we know. So you don't know something.
It means we're making it up, but we know. That's what it means. I'm making it up, but claiming that it as a fact.
But you know it. But you don't know it. Like, I'm going crazy.
Same, Brad. Same.
This is like brain damage. These people are broken. Methany here is beyond help. Like,
Yeah, I saw.
Grief.
Let's
We
see.
don't know, but we know. If
I saw a lot of this clip that was posted on X, and like, it's just extreme hatred and conspiracy theory thinking. It's ideological views. It's a mind virus. It's deranged thinking. It's, I don't know. It's beyond. Maybe it's beyond help. Hopefully not.
have you ever encountered a person in real life who unironically says that? If it's a joke or a meme, that's one thing. But if they unironically say that, run from that person.
Kyle, this onboarding is a disaster. The new hire's waiting, I'm embarrassed, and you swore the process was ready to go.
Anyway, let's keep going here.
we know. So so either his wife, because she's got ties to child trafficking.
Wrong.
She
Fact
got,
check,
Based off
wrong.
of-
Incorrect.
based off of the work she did with children. She was kicked out of, what was the country? She was kicked out of the country for it.
Mm,
Yeah.
What
So
country?
You got to know this, dog.
well, it was like Slavia.
wrong.
Where is it? Where is it? What was it?
It's kind of crazy to suggest somebody was involved in human trafficking and banned from a country for it, then just like casually throw that out there and be like, you can't really remember the country or any of the details.
I don't know any of the facts. I know zero facts from this. Zero. I know zero facts. But we know, no, don't know, no. Now we know, no. She knows. She calls herself, here's a comment from YouTube. She calls herself a Christian, but she acts like she does. I don't like her anymore. I'm glad you don't like her anymore. Yeah, she's certainly doesn't possess any Christian values. Zero, none. No morality, no moral compass. To say the least, she's very morally bankrupt and morally confused. But we know no, you know?
It's almost like because that's not real and doesn't exist. That's been extensively debunked. There is absolutely no record of any such thing. The actual country, by the way, that the allegation is even about, I believe, is Romania, and there's no records whatsoever. The funny thing is they talk about her a charity she worked with that they say was involved in adoption that was actually human trafficking. The hilarious part of that is that the charity she worked with did not even do adoption. If you look at the actual facts, they did the like adopt a kid thing where you send money to support someone. They never even did actual adoption. So there already was no evidence that they were like buying and selling and doing human trafficking, but they never even were doing the thing they think they were doing as cover for the human trafficking. This is all totally debunked. This is random conspiratard Twitter slop that she has seen and absorbed. And then actually,
That's one of my favorite words that Brad keeps using, conspiratard. That's what they are. They're conspiracy retards. Conspiratards. Nice, Brad. My
is
favorite.
audacious enough to repeat, like, that's insane. How can you say that about another human being, make these heinous allegations and accusations, and then you don't even know the basic?
Yeah, I mean, child trafficking or human trafficking is literally the worst thing you can do on the planet. And to make that claim about someone with zero evidence and zero knowledge and zero facts and just say that about someone is so fucked up. And then to laugh about it and think like, oh, no, we just got it from Candace. This is what our hero, our God, Candace says. Fuck off.
Basic facts of your own entirely fabricated narrative that you saw on Twitter somewhere. It's disgraceful. But this is where the hardcore Candyland people end up. And Candace Owens should see this clip and look in the mirror and reevaluate everything, but she won't. Anyway, keep going here.
What was
Slovenia?
No, there was a country that she did like
Ukraine?
Was it Ukraine? No, it wasn't Ukraine. She did. Don't look at me like that. I'm legit.
I mean, we just name all the fucking.
Well, I'm just waiting to get
I know.
or
I'm
something.
trying to remember the country, but she was kicked out of a country. She was doing like adoption work for little kids that don't have parents, and they were
Wrong.
going missing, and so she was kicked out of the country.
We're not going to have Pepsi with baby flavoring in it. I mean, what the hell have we become?
So Erica Kirk, you're saying,
I'm alleging
you're
Oh,
alleging,
I'm
is a
alleging.
child ringleader,
she's in on it.
and Charlie didn't
So,
die because of
possibly.
that.
No, so she's okay. So she's was basically his handler,
Jesus.
and
Okay.
either there's two different theories. Okay, so either she was his handler, he found out about all her bullshit.
Weren't they just like a classic Christian couple like y'all? Oh,
Everybody
no.
thinks.
The so
Isn't that
okay.
kind of what he was preaching?
Well, in the video where he's being shot, it wasn't actually him. It was a hologram.
Oh my God.
Oh,
There was a trap door. There was a trap door, and
but
hologram
you don't
got-
actually believe this. You're just having fun with this.
No, I believe this. I believe one of two theories. That's
Yeah, Brad's right. This is kind of the end game for Candace Owens conspiracy people. They take everything, boom, boom, boom. They take everything she says is true as fact, and they lead to this conclusion that Charlie Kirk really isn't dead, that he's a hologram. And again, give Brad credit. You know, he stated that Candace Owens has not actually said this about Charlie Kirk. These people are just using Candace Owens and Candace Owens kind of group of fucking idiots to come to these insane conclusions and spread these kind of lies. And then basically kind of the underlying foundation of it all is that the Jews in Israel did it. That's where really they get to, is hating Jews. And that's where always the end line is. The through line always leads to that.
one of the theories. I don't believe he's actually dead.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I mean, listen, that woman is too far gone. Methany needs to be institutionalized against her will. But I think it's important because obviously this one random woman is just, some person out there, but she didn't end up there on her own. These delusional.
Right. She's clearly been influenced by the insanity of Candace Owens and Candace Owens adjacent influencers. And that's the real issue that we have to start thinking about. How do we get more facts into the public square? Because right now, outrage and conspiracies and clickbait culture is all incentivized because it's monetized. So what do we do about it? That's the great question.
Schizophrenic conspiratards feed crazy people this fact-free conspiracy slop, and it takes them to crazy places. And it's a totally irresponsible and reckless way to use your platform. That's my take. And I know there's occasionally some Candyland lovers or viewers who watch me as well, and they get mad when I say it. But listen, you're entitled to your own opinion. I'm entitled to mine. And I'm sticking to it. That's just my take. You guys will have to let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure to subscribe if you aren't yet. Hit the like button and all that. Do consider becoming a channel member to support my work.
Thanks, Brad. Appreciate it. Great video.